welcome back to Sam's AI Automation. Today what we're going to be doing is finding Instagram handles for reach out, be it for lead generation or for shout outs or for whatever different purpose you may need it. It's a highly useful function, and it's pretty simple with Make. As you can see, just the 4 modules are needed. Now, the first part involves Appify. So we'll have a look at the Appify product here. Now, Appify is a standalone website. Once you get an account, you'll see a screen like this, and basically you need to find a Google scraper, because basically what Appify does is it runs a series of programs. The majority of them are based around web scraping, and so we'll look in this case for a simple Google scraper. Just wait for it to come up. Basically the one I'm using, I'll show you in just a moment, but we'll wait for it to search through. In fact, it looks like maybe I don't have the best internet connection, so we'll just leave that as is at the moment. We'll go back to actors. The one I've been using here is the fast Google scraper. The previous screen I just showed you, you'll be able to find that easy enough. Go through to it. Just wait for it to load and we'll see what we can do here. Basically what this does is runs a simple Google search. You'll see the configuration here. Here I've got Instagram page handles for plumbers in Melbourne. For this example, I'm going to use plumbers in Melbourne as the people we want to reach out to. It doesn't actually run that prompt through the API. You'll see we have API access here. Basically, what we need from this screen is the JSON instructions. So we'll just copy that and we go back to make.com. Now, what we need to do with Appify is put that configuration into our make.com module. So we'll just wait for it to open up. It's funny, the moment I run Loom, it seems to run very slowly. Okay, so here we go. Here's our configuration for Appify. The one we've used is the one to run an actor. So we look at the easy Google scraper we're just looking at. We wanted to run it synchronously. What this means is it runs it kind of in series or one at a time. It needs to run synchronously because if you run it asynchronously, it'll look for data before the data is ready. So we always run synchronously when it comes to Appify. Now here's the input JSON. Now you see I've adjusted it slightly in that I've got plumbers Melbourne at Instagram. Now this at Instagram seems to be really useful in finding Instagram handles. So we'll just leave that as. Country code I've got AU, you can change that to your country obviously. Build, you always put latest because it needs to be the latest build of the Appify scraper. Timeout, I'd leave that blank and just leave it for the default one that's in the actor itself. Same with memory, go OK. Now what we do, once we've run that, we basically get a message back saying succeeded. 2 requests, 2 succeeded, none failed, so that's good. Now, once that's done, we actually need to get the data from Appify. That's what we do in this step here. Actually, I'll quickly show you in Appify where the data actually comes out to. The runs, and we'll just wait for that to load. Okay, it's just going through now. Okay, so we'll have a click on that one. Just waiting for it now. And you'll see the data comes out in each run as an output. You can see here there's I don't know if you can read that or not, but it says 100 in the list of output. Just taking a little while to get it. Anyway, you can see there's a bunch of results here that have come out of the web scrape from Appify's fast Google scraper. So what we now do is pull that into our make.com automation. So if we have a look at the dataset items, basically we get the data ID from the previous call to Appify, and it's important to use this one down the bottom here called default dataset ID. You don't use the ID at the top, you use the one down the bottom called default dataset ID. Data transformation, leaving that as clean is fine. I've chosen the format as CSV because I want the data to be outputted in just one big lump. I've limited the results to 100 just for the purposes of the exercise. Now the magic happens. We pass this in pass this in ChatGPT to be useful for an email. Just wait for them to start. Okay, so basically we're creating a chat completion. ChatGPT 4.0 mini is fine. That system is fine for the role. Okay, so what we want to do is from the below CSV, create a table with the following columns: company name, Instagram URL, and the Instagram handle. And this data here is in fact the data that's come out of our previous Apify data set, and it's a CSV. And the table is to be of HTML format. The code should be runnable, and there should be nothing before and after the HTML. ChatGPT has this weird habit of just adding in little bits of text before and after the runnable code, and it needs to be removed in order for it to work properly. So I'll go OK on that. And I happen to have a Microsoft 365 email account. Just wait for it to load. Okay, so what we want to output is just a simple one: plumbing Instagram leads. Below your Instagram leads, and we output the what comes out of ChatGPT. So I've got a destination account of where I'm going to send the email to, and I'll show you an example of what. Let's have a look. Oh, sorry, I'll show you an example of the output. I won't run this now because it takes maybe a minute or two to run, and I'm sure you don't want to wait around for that. I'll show you one I prepared earlier, which is this one here. Okay. Below are your Instagram leads, and we've got a series of Instagram URLs and the Instagram handles. Now, this is pretty handy when it comes to things like shout outs and lead generation outreach. I mean, you can maybe in the future I'll create an automation that reaches out to Instagram. I think that'd be highly useful actually. And I mean, you can create DMs and send them off to those handles within a make.com automation. It's actually a bit tricky, but maybe in a future one I'll actually look at doing that as a demonstration. Anyway, thanks for listening. That's how that one works.